Friday to share your thoughts and time and expertise on the issue of innovation in New England and our capacity to reach out, to inspire, and to bring potential students of all walks of life, backgrounds, and experience into higher education. I want to, first of all, as we begin, extend a welcome on behalf of the board and the staff of the New England Board of Higher Education. We're joined here today by one of our board members and chair of our finance committee, Bill Hurry from Rhode Island. Bill, thank you and welcome. And I also want to recognize at the outset our sponsors, principally the Nellie Mae Education Foundation, which has been a longtime supporter of NEVI, and our College Ready New England Initiative. Today is the annual conference of the College Ready New England Initiative, and I want to thank the foundation for its ongoing support. We also recognize the College Board that likewise has been an outstanding regional partner for many years, particularly as it relates to our College Ready New England Initiative, and also the ZAP Corporation, TD Bank North, and Century Bank for their support. The NEVI staff has worked hard to make today possible, so I want to thank in particular Jason Chiara, who's the Director of Policy and Research. You'll hear from Jason a little bit later today. Amanda Karkowski, who's my Executive Assistant, and also Jan Queen, who's our Chief Operating Officer. Darren Fulwile has done a lot to help make some of our technology possible today, and we've also benefited from the help of Josh Henniston and Billy Day, who have been our College Ready New England interns this year. So if you'll join me in giving a quick thanks to our sponsors and all those who made this possible, I'd appreciate that. Now, NEVI is over 50 years old. We were founded by the federal government and by the governors of the 6 New England states in the 1950s. Our mission is to increase education opportunities and resources to the residents and institutions of New England, particularly colleges and universities. We fulfill that mission through 3 principal avenues: programs and activities focused on cost savings and affordability, principally our regional student program Tuition Break, which saves over 8,000 students an average of $7,000 per year as they cross borders within the New England region to go to specialized programs that they can't find in their own state, saving a total of about $45 million this year. We also have programs focused on college access and success, principally our College Ready New England initiative. You also know us through our convening ability, our policy leadership on key issues facing the New England states. The New England Journal of Higher Education is one of our big banners that we fly across the region to create a dialogue on the key issues of increasing the number of students who can be ready for and successfully participate in higher education, as well as a variety of other issues related to the success of higher education in New England and the connection between the New England economy and the higher education institutions. We also have other programs, our Photon Problem-Based Learning program, which is focused on science, technology, engineering, and math, and many of you have been with us in the past for other conferences and events. Our objectives today are pretty simple. First of all, as I said, to have an annual convening around the issues of College Ready New England, which principally focus on ensuring that students in the region are increasingly ready as they leave high school and enter into post-secondary institutions so that they can succeed there, and also including the objective of increasing access and completion for underrepresented populations. We also sought to bring together national and regional leaders who can share with us some cutting-edge perspectives, innovations, best practices, and ideas that can help us to better work together, to better collaborate, and to better reach out to increase access and success. We've also created today a marketplace where ideas, resources, tools, and program ideas can be shared, and we'll say more about that a little bit later. And also an environment where you all can connect from different states, institutions, programs, and activities to share ideas, resources, and best practices. So we welcome you. Let me just share with you very quickly a couple of housekeeping items. You'll notice from the schedule that we have a variety of different basically plenary sessions or concurrent sessions. And then we also have an opportunity, as we said, to have a marketplace. There'll be 2 specific free time slots during the day, one at 10:55 and another one at 2:20, when you'll be able to join us in the marketplace just adjacent to this room here. You're also welcome to go there at other points during the day. That'll be an opportunity for you to interact with people from around the region and actually interact with a variety of different programs and organizations. Lunch will be held in this room. It will begin at 12:10. And we'll have a half hour to eat as well as to browse the marketplace, and then at 12:40 we'll have our lunch keynote by Faye Agar of the North Carolina New Schools Project. And then the concurrent sessions will be held in the locations that are noted in your programs, the Bayview Conference Room and the Founders Conference Room, which are here on the 3rd floor, and then also the University Dining Club, which is on the 2nd floor. And we have NEVI staff stationed throughout the facility, so if you have any questions or need direction, don't hesitate to ask. Now, before we get going, it's my distinct pleasure today to introduce to you and to have an opportunity for you to hear from J. Keith Motley. He's currently the Chancellor of the University of Massachusetts, Boston. He is known far and wide for his enthusiastic support and his outreach to the community, particularly as it relates to increasing access and opportunity. He's the 8th Chancellor of UMass Boston, beginning his service there after a period of having served as an interim as well. He also served as Vice President for Business Marketing and Public Affairs at the UMass President's Office, and has a very long history here in Boston higher education, working for over 10 years as the Dean of Students at Northeastern University. So without any further ado, we introduce to you J. Keith Motley.
Now, I still have my classroom voice from yesterday and my NCAA voice from last night. So I don't know if you want me to put this microphone on. But I am so excited to see everybody here this morning. Welcome to the University of Massachusetts, Boston, your public university here in the city, and one that I'm proud and honored to serve as Chancellor. I am so grateful to see you. I'm looking around the room, seeing old friends, new friends, and those who were students years ago when I knew them, now sitting here with ties and shirts on, talking about how we're going to change this whole educational framework, and I'm so proud of that. I am so grateful to our President and CEO of the New England Board of Higher Education, or more affectionately known as NEVI, Michael Thomas, for deciding to house this conference here on this campus on the Bay. We hope that your view of the beautiful Atlantic today stirs thinking at a vast and deep level as inspiring as this ocean that you're sitting on. We're truly excited about this initiative of the New England Board of Higher Education. I have friends in Washington, D.C. who are threatening to be here today, and we're just so excited about the opportunity to house it. We anticipate a great day of sessions. As I stood there and listened to what is going to happen today and all the logistics involved in that, you are in for a treat. These workshops provide an unbelievable opportunity for all this brilliance to share with each other. I'm jealous that I only can come in and out today. See, those guys over there, that's why they're here. They sent 2 today to make sure, because they know I'd rather hang out with you. So they sent these 2 guys to take me to whatever I have to do next. But I shall return. Don't tell them. It might be around lunchtime, because I heard that's going to be down in our dining room or something today, and I'm looking for that. It's always wonderful for me to see my colleagues and friends in this business. I just want to say thank you to you, because I know on your campuses, in your organizations, no matter where you come from, you're busy. So you don't have to be here, but you've chosen to be here to contribute, and that is noble, and that's what it's all about. And that's why I run to work every day, because I love being in a community filled with you. So thank you. And that's what it's so energizing, just walking in here, seeing you. So thanks for that. We here at the University of Massachusetts, Boston share the aspirations that you have. It's so important that we are continuously working with high schools to prepare those young people and for success beyond our own dreams. And so we are with you in improving college attendance. We are with you in improving completion rates. We are with you in looking at ourselves through different lenses and then adjusting so that we can make a difference. And we'll do that without anger. We'll do that without feeling like, we are insulted. We'll do that because it's the right thing to do. We'll do that because we are your public university in this city wanting to make a difference. We'll do that because our Access mission is the mission that our founders built the foundation of this institution on, so that as we journey to this new thing called being the research university and the only public research university in this city, we won't forget our teaching soul. We won't forget that these neighborhoods depend on us to educate their children and their youth, and so your ideas will help us do that in a way that will make a difference forever. And so thank you for that. We are so engaged here at this university. Many of you know that story, but if you don't, you walk around this campus and you see cross-generational learning happening in ways that make me so proud every day, from pre-collegiate students at numbers beyond 2,000 to our elders walking around here now, many of my vintage coming in the classrooms to a point when they walk in my office, sometimes I think they're my colleagues, but they're there for advising. They're in my classrooms learning and teaching others from their experience. And so that's the kind of intergenerational learning that's going on this campus, and we're so proud. So thank you for that. As a public university, we were chartered in the 60s to do this. We stand today smiling, willing, ready to do it. That is why the University of Massachusetts Boston provides urban scholars upward bound along with many other pre-collegiate programs. That is why faculty and staff are organizing on this campus to provide mentoring opportunities for incoming University of Massachusetts Boston students from the Boston Public High Schools, and a view toward increasing their graduation rates that lately have been spotlighted in post-secondary institutions around the city and the state, as if we're just getting into that business. We've been in that business. We have not ran away from that business. We've been successful in that business. So we continue and plan to be in that business, in spite of those who want to highlight it in ways that would make some want to run away. That is why we're so joyfully and hopefully welcome the College Ready New England initiative to our campus. We know that it will take innovation, expertise, imagination, commitment, dedication of the people who gathered in this room to fashion a strategic approach to this issue for the long run, and we're in it with you for the long run. So, as Chancellor of this great public university here on this wonderful Atlantic Ocean, I say to you, thank you. Welcome. Have a great day. Don't mind me when I come in and out. Talk about me later. But no, I won't go away. I'm like that stain on your suit that happened on your way here this morning. You try to hide it, but it comes out anyway. So I'm that guy, and I'm looking forward to being that guy with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience here. Come back again, again, and again, and know that you're welcome when you do. Thank you so much.
Chancellor, thank you so much. The incarnation, no doubt, of vision, leadership, enthusiasm, and passion, as well as experience. So we appreciate. We live in an area and a time and an era of resource constraints, and it's time to think of new and innovative ways to solve the problems that are facing us. That's the essence of the Innovation Lab. As your program notes, we're going to begin today with a keynote address and panel discussion focused on using digital technology to reach the digital. It's my pleasure to introduce for you Steve Hargadon. Steve is not here in Boston, but will be with us shortly. Steve will be coming in virtually along with a variety of other people. Steve is a social learning consultant at Illuminate. He's the director of the K-12 Open Technologies Initiative at the Consortium for School Networking, and he's the founder of Classroom 2.0, a social network. He also blogs and speaks and consults on a variety of educational technology issues, and is particularly passionate about Web 2.0 social networking, free and open source software, computer use, and computer populations. We are joined here in Boston by Brian Rich. Brian is Director of Community and Partnerships for iPhocus, the media think tank and futures lab that organizes the We Media Community Conferences and Awards. He's the managing editor of WeMedia.com and a principal at Echo Ditto. one of the most successful internet and online communication firms in the nation. He's a regular writer, blogger, and speaker on issues of the impact of the internet and technology on politics, society, and the media. And I'm an active Twitter person as well. So everything that's happened thus far has been Twittered. So, but Brian, we appreciate you being here. So we'll launch this at this point, bringing in our present and virtual participants. Thank you.
So I just need some feedback that, in fact, you can hear me. I don't know if that's possible for you, Jason, but just let me know that, in fact, I'm transmitting through to the hall. I guess I can assume that I am. Well, I'm really delighted to be here. Oh, good. I can hear myself, so I know I'm coming through. This is the airplane that I sat in for 2 hours yesterday that was supposed to bring me to you in Boston. And I'm so sorry I'm not there in person. But I'm not one to argue when they have a mechanical issue with a plane. And I guess there were weather-related issues around the country that meant that I couldn't get another flight. So we're going to actually test out our capability of using Web 2.0 to visit with you today. So these are my good friends, Barbie and Kevin Anderson. And they live down the street from us. And Kevin, about 7 or 8 months ago, was informed that he needed to have a heart transplant. And I didn't know Kevin really at all, but I braved calling him and offering to help build a web page for him. We'd had a friend who had been very sick, and having a web page actually allowed her to communicate with her friends without having to take every phone call. And I thought, well, that might be a good thing for someone going through a pretty serious medical situation. And I was a little nervous about making the offer, but he readily accepted. And the night before he was flying out to the Mayo Clinic, he started this blog of a journey of his health trials and circumstance. And it turns out that he has been a particularly great blogger. He's poetic, he's articulate, and it's really been fun to watch as he's gone through this journey on his blog. And his blog's been read by many people, not just those who are friends like we are, but many who are in similar health circumstance, and he's made all kinds of connections because of it. It's pretty amazing to me the degree to which now the Web 2.0 is really helping to create dramatic changes in how we live our lives. There's just no question that this is coming down to a very personal level as well as just the professional level. So when I was invited to speak to you today, I posted the questions that I felt I was being asked to address on my Future of Education interview series website. And you probably can't see the full text there, but I'm going to read you quickly. I said, I've been asked to help facilitate an event at the end of March with educational and government representatives on the topic of using the new technologies of the web, specifically to help low-income and minority students, and in particular to open greater opportunities for higher education to them. My job for that day will be to lay out the vision and possibilities for this angle on Web 2.0. As I've told them that I don't have any particular expertise here, but want to be part of helping to bring the dialogue forth. So I posted this late in the evening one night on this website, which is a social network on the Future of Education, and was surprised the next morning to wake up to 31 responses. I think it's currently at over 120 responses, but clearly this tapped into something that people really cared about. So the session today is actually the aggregation of the basic themes that came out of that discussion. You can actually go read the discussion. It's at www.futureofeducation.com, and the full discussion is there. What I've tried to do is to pick out 4 basic themes that came out of the discussion and to actually showcase them for you, and then to give you 6 additional ideas that have occurred to me where Web 2.0 could make a significant difference in this area. Shelley Krause was one of the respondents to that discussion, and she said that in her experience, the overlap of folks working to improve underserved students' access to higher education with folks who are comfortable with the read-write web is pretty small. I think that may be true, but I think it's definitely changing, and I think this is going to be a very exciting area where there will be people who both have some competency and fluency in Web 2.0 and have a passion around this particular issue, and I think we're going to see some really exciting things take place. So first, I want to make sure that we describe what Web 2.0 is. So this is the vision of the web. This is the view of the web that I think most of us are familiar with, which is that we use the web in the way that we had used previous media. It was something that we received. There were experts who put out information, and we read that, we received it, and we did research on the web. That was, say, Web 1.0. Web 2.0 is a change in the nature of that interaction. That instead of just being recipients of material, in Web 2.0 we're as much contributors as we are recipients. So principles of Web 2.0 are contributing, collaborating, and creating. And one way to think about this is that Web 2.0 technologies are really just frameworks for participation. It's very different. We used to go to the web and we would read the New York Times, or we would read some encyclopedia information. In the change, the web
It looks like we lost Steve's main feed, but luckily he has a backup feed. So give him about 30 seconds and he should be back on.
This is Dan Basil. My connection shows it's trying to reconnect. Is that because of the lost feed with Steve?
Thank you all for being so patient. Steve should be back up shortly. It would be a lot easier if he was just in Boston today. But we'll give him a second here, and if not, we'll continue on with our other virtual presenters. Thank you.
So am I coming through now? So are you ready for me? Am I back on? Hang on. Yeah, don't worry, it's kind of everything. Okay, so yeah, so I was talking about the change to Web 2.0, and I don't know where I lost you, but basically Web 2.0 means we've created frameworks for participation. And so we don't go to the website to see things that that one company has produced. We're going to see videos or pictures that are being produced by other users. Okay, so and here are some of the services that we're used to seeing that happen. So this is presenting some enormous opportunities, really terrific opportunities to do different things. And what it's doing is it's unleashing latent energy. I don't know if you've noticed, but things like Wikipedia are producing much more participation from the users than we're currently used to, than we've been used to, than we expected. And we're seeing the same thing in education. We're seeing an opportunity for students to really get engaged. And if the printing press made a pretty dramatic difference in society, I think it could be argued that Web 2.0 is going to make a comparable difference and may even have a greater impact than the printing press did because of this changed nature of active participation by users. Okay, so the challenge is that the digital natives are not a population. They're not a generation, they're a population. So what that means is, this is John Palfrey from Harvard who said this, and what it means is we don't have a generation of kids who are using Web 2.0. We have a population of students who are using 2.0, and we have another population who are not. And part of our job is to help expand that use to a broader range of students. So here are the 4 themes and some people that I want you to meet who are meeting this challenge. The first theme is exploring beyond the school walls. And I'm going to bring in Jim Bigley, who is at the National Civil War Museum. And Jim, would you go ahead and start your video and tell us who you are, what you're doing, and what you think the potential is.
Well, good morning. I'm Jim Bigley. I'm at the National Civil War Museum here in Harrisburg, and a group of kids just came up the steps where I was sitting, so I got to move over a little bit. The National Civil War Museum is located just north of Harrisburg, actually in Harrisburg, just north of Gettysburg. I'm going to show you some of the displays while I'm here. But my thing is teaching teachers how to use technology to teach the American Civil War. I did my doctoral dissertation on that last year, learning and showing teachers how they can use technology, especially Web 2.0 tools, in the classroom to teach kids and others about the American Civil War. Can you hear me?
You can. You sound great.
Okay, good. So this display case has some old pistols in it. So one of the things this is nice that they are able to show. I was just showing not only the teachers there, but also the museum here, how easy it is to do reach out using tools like Illuminate or Skype to get information out to classrooms.
So Jim, do you think that there are other educators who, or grad students who would be willing to spend their time actually coming live into a classroom and answering questions about something?
Yes, because everybody's got a passion about something, or they have some knowledge about something, and they want to share that. And that's one of the things that you mentioned with Web 2.0. Those kids want to share what they're learning, and it gives them that ability to create. So And that's one of the advantages of Web 2.0. And the research shows that kids want to create, they want to do stuff, and they want to share it. That research also shows like when kids write for the web, they write better because they're not writing for just their teacher. So they want to do that, and they want to share what they're doing so they can. It gives them that sense of pride. And I see this, for example, in my daughter and her project that she does.
So tell us about that very, very quickly.
My daughter's doing a Follow Me project on Civil War. It's called Civil War Sally, and that's a picture of Sally there. And what this teddy bear is doing is using Web 2.0 tools like wikis and blogs and Flickr. And Sally's traveling around to museums, battlefields, and classrooms learning about Civil War and sharing those experiences with others. But my daughter is 11, and she's able to be passionate about this and share her love and experience, or share her love of the Civil War with others while promoting the use of technology and these Web 2.0 tools. It's teaching her to write better. It's teaching her to, be a good digital citizen, learning how to Twitter and saying things in a short 140 characters or less kind of thing. So, and Web 2.0 really allows people to channel this energy and channel it out to others very easily and be able to communicate with them.
Jim,
on the previous
thanks so
slide,
much
I talked
for
about.
taking some of your day today at the National Civil War Museum. Give a shout out for your website.
My website is teachthecivilwar.com. And my daughter's is civilwarsally.wikispaces.com. I wanted to show you the saddle that's here in the display case. And then there's the group of students.
Okay, we're on a virtual field trip.
Jim,
thank
that's
you so
exactly
much.
one of the easiest ways to do it. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, have a great day.
You too.
Okay, so now, Kevin, can I ask you to turn your video on? So this is my friend Kevin, who's currently in the Stanford Hospital. Kevin, will you tell us a little bit about what your background is and what you've just gone through? Oh, we can't hear your audio, so you need to turn your mic on. Push the mic button.
Can you hear it now?
Yep.
Can you? Okay. Well, I'm in an interesting situation because I'm both a patient, which I have been for the last 8 months, and a physician. And about 8 months ago, I was diagnosed with a very rare disease called amyloidosis. And this disease had destroyed my heart to the point that I was in need of a heart transplant just to survive. And I was being shipped off to the Mayo Clinic for evaluation here from California. And the night before I left, Steve was gracious enough to set me up with a blog. And I did not know that much about blogs, but I figured I could very easily communicate with my family and close friends and let them know how I was doing. What I had no concept that would happen was that what I would write and what my wife would write would extend out across the country to people all over from many different backgrounds who were looking at what was happening to me and using my experience to help them in their own lives, either whether they had cancer or whether they had the same disease as me. And the other thing that I found that was very amazing was how therapeutic it was for me as a patient to be able to write my feelings and share what was going on with me. And now I'm sitting here in the Stanford Hospital, still early so it's dark, and just having completed last week a bone marrow transplant in order to cure my amyloidosis so it would not attack my new heart, which I've now had for about 6 months. And so recently I've been documenting daily the experience of what it's like to have a bone marrow transplant. So anybody who ever gets one can see on a daily basis how it feels and what's going on. So that's been very useful for me to use this technology for the help of others.
So Kevin, you're sort of a natural teacher at heart. Could you imagine actually connecting daily or weekly with a class of students and kind of telling them about what's going on with you?
Well, teaching is my passion. Before I came to California, I was on the faculty at Yale University. And when I got sick, one of the things I missed most was not being able to teach anymore. And I found that I'm able to teach now, but in a very different way, on a very personal level, and people respond. I have families from all over the country call me or email me saying, can you give me information about this or that or the other thing? And so for me, this technology has been a way that I can continue my teaching on a very personal level.
Kevin, thanks so much for getting up early for us. Thanks for being part of our virtual field trip. We're going to let you go.
Not at all.
And
Thank
Melanie,
you.
would you fire up your webcam? Have a great day, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Steve.
Okay, so this is Melanie Martin. And Melanie is also expanding beyond the walls of the school. So Melanie, would you start by telling us a little bit about the Fire and Ice program that you're involved in with the kids in Kenya? And if you're talking, we need you to click on the mic button because can't hear you. Still not hearing you. Sounds like maybe you've got a mic problem. Not hearing you. Okay, we're going to continue our virtual field trip. And Melanie, why don't you try connecting back, and you can interrupt us when you have voice. Okay, so the second aspect of this that Melanie is also going to address when she comes back, the second theme is virtual mentors and academic counseling. And so let's go ahead and call on Daniel. Dan, you're on the phone line. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Hi, I'm Dan Bassel. I'm in Chicago, and pleasure to be here talking to my friends in Boston and all over the world. I lead an organization that works on two levels. I operate a volunteer-based tutoring and mentoring program that connects inner-city teenagers with workplace volunteers who serve as tutors and mentors. I also lead something called the Tutor-Mentor Connection, where I connect adults all over the world with each other and with information that we host on the Internet, with the goal of creating access that makes more and better non-school learning opportunities available to kids in Chicago and in other big cities. So if Steve's got some slides here from our website, if he's able to pull those up. What we do is...
Daniel, those slides didn't come through very well.
There you are. Why don't you slip that to the next slide?
That's the only one that actually
if you're looking at what we see here, is our aim is... This is fine right here. When we talk about tutoring and mentoring, we're talking about a strategy of engaging adults who don't live in poverty with kids who do live in poverty. And because of the bonds the adults form with the kids, they become people who are more willing to do things to help the kids, but more willing to do things to go back to their business and their church and their community to engage other adults in doing things to help kids. So this map is just one of many resources that you can find on our Tutor Mentor Connection website. And what it does is, this is a map of Chicago. It shows the poverty areas are the pink and the yellow and the blue. All of these areas are places where there's lots of reasons that schools aren't performing well, and these are places where kids need a wide range of extra adults and extra learning opportunities. We've built a database of who the different tutor mentor programs are who operate in these neighborhoods, and we do things through the internet, through face-to-face learning that helps the programs come together and learn from each other. But we're also trying to get the people from businesses and education and hospitals and churches to be thinking, what are the ways they could help populate these neighborhoods with more and better volunteer-based tutoring and mentoring programs. What Web 2.0 does is helps us connect our ideas with people in other cities and other countries even. I'm a small nonprofit organization. The people that are helping me do what I do come from California, they come from Baltimore, they come from India, they come from Hong Kong. So we're connecting adults from around the world with this idea of how do we create increased access without building the infrastructure that would make programs available in all of the inner city neighborhoods and would sustain those programs year to year for many years. We don't really have a pipeline that starts at preschool or elementary school and that is continuous all the way through college and on into jobs and careers. Now, all of this information is much more than what we could talk about in just a few minutes, and that, again, is why Web 2.0 is so great. Just like Steve and I have been able to meet on the Classroom Forum, I'm meeting with people on Facebook, I'm meeting with people on LinkedIn, I'm sharing ideas on my own website. So we're constantly, when you talk about a marketplace for ideas, we're really putting that marketplace to work. And it's a type of marketplace anyone can shop at any time they want. Anyone can use the ideas. Anyone can contribute to the ideas. So instead of having one pilot in one place working with one small group, we really create the opportunity that lots of entrepreneurs in many places are using the same body of knowledge to try to help kids from different places where they're disadvantaged have more of the advantages that are taken for granted in more affluent areas.
Daniel?
Does that pretty much answer what you were looking to talk about?
It did. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for being part of our virtual field trip there in Chicago. What's the weather like?
It's nice right now. Hopefully it comes your way.
Okay. Take care, Daniel. Thanks for joining us.
And let me just add that. Okay, thank you.
So do we have Larry on the line? Larry, are you on? Okay, so our third theme is providing access to computers and the internet. And this is one that really was a very strong one in the responses to the question on the social network. And Larry was going to come in by telephone from California. He doesn't seem to be on, but Larry works with bringing computers into the families of minority students in Sacramento and has seen a huge success in their actually having access. And so he has actually won awards for his website that discuss ways in which families, by having a computer in the home and computer access, the kids' academic performance is actually improving. So we're behind enough that I'm not going to worry about drilling down too much on this. But clearly this is a huge theme, that having access to the internet in the home is enabling academic performance. And this is something we need to think about, the role of colleges and college students in helping to make sure that this is provided in their local area. Okay, so we think that Laquita and Chelsea and Melanie are back, so we're going to go back to going beyond the school boundaries and let them tell us about their Fire and Ice program through Illuminate with Kenya. And we still don't have audio. No, I think we do. Go ahead. Go ahead. So Melanie, we're not hearing you. I think this has been a brave try, but we may have to move on. There was some sound there. No. Okay, so at least show us Laquita and La Chelsea, so we can see what they look like. They've dressed up for the day, I'm sure. So they're involved in two programs, one of which is that they connect with a classroom in Kenya. And with the students in Georgia and the students in Kenya, they're monthly meeting together to talk about Swahili and cultural lessons. But in addition to that, Melanie's also involved in a program called Gear Up, which has college students who are mentoring the high school students. And they're doing so virtually. And it's kind of an interesting story because the mentors are actually anonymous. But they are providing that kind of support to the students. So Melanie, we apologize. We can't hear you. Darn, she's put in the chat that she's having computer problems. So we're going to move on. Have a great day. Thanks for trying. Okay, so our fourth theme is using online learning to reach out. And we have Jean Johnson from the UK. And Jean, would you turn your video on and tell us about yourself?
You can hear me. It's a lovely sunny spring day here just outside London near Stansted Airport. And it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're quite hungry here because we haven't had our lunch. And what we do is we run a charity, which is a not-for-profit, and we provide online learning for people who are disadvantaged. I think the principle here is if you can't take the kids to the learning, you take the learning to the kids. We don't just work with kids and teenagers, we work with adults as well, and basically anybody who is disadvantaged in some way. We're best known for our NotSchool.net program, which began way back in the year 2000, so we're kind of almost 10 years old, and I don't know if you've got slides, but if you have, there's a second slide which kind of encompasses roughly what we do with NotSchool, which is the kids learn where they like, they learn what they like, and they learn when they like. Now that all sounds a bit strange really, but if a child is completely disengaged from learning, they're probably living in poverty, bottom two socioeconomic groups, life is pretty rough at that end of the economy, etc. And we provide the opportunities and the ability for them to learn. Have you got the slides, by the way, or are they not there?
No.
I can see me, but I can't see me.
I never got the slides, Jean.
Oh, okay,
But
never mind.
let me
I'm
ask you.
talking to them. They're good slides. You carry on. Go on, ask me a question.
So Jean,
Is that what you're
tell me,
missing?
these are kids who weren't in school, had dropped out of school?
Yeah, they've all been excluded from school in the long term, so they would have been excluded in terms of the school says, no, you can't come back, or it could be that they're phobic and have decided they don't want to go. It could be that they're sick, ill, long-term illness, etc. Your previous speakers in hospital, we do have some kids in hospital, or we spend significant periods of time in hospital, and by providing the technology in an online community of practice, they're able to engage and talk with lots of other kids as well. It's interesting to listen to your discussions about social networking because we find that by building an element of social networking into our online learning environment, it draws the kids in. You know, they're perfectly free to vote with their feet and go somewhere else. But what they will say is, we like being on NotSchool because we know that there's other people like us in the world and we can talk to them and engage with them. And then learning becomes part of their day-to-day existence.
So we're talking about kids that we would call, for some good portion of them, dropouts. And
Yeah,
what percentage of them are actually staying in school and going on?
Okay, you would call them dropouts, and we work with kids, the NotSchool.net project works with kids who have been out of school in the long term, and we're often talking 2, 3, 4 years, it could be longer. There's some other stuff we do with other kids who are on the brink of dropping out. Our success rate on NotSchool is 98%, so we can get 98% through with qualifications that are valid on our national framework, engage them in learning sufficiently to move on to further and higher education. And in fact, one of our kids from the early days is now a master's student, doing a master's in photography actually, and she graduated with a first class honours. A lot of these kids are not textually literate, and they will claim, certainly in England, that they've been bullied in school. But actually, if we can rebuild self-esteem, look at a lot of soft skills, look at collaborative ways of working, which we can do with Web 2 technologies, we can take their learning forward. And once we can get them to the stage where they want to learn, actually the rest is pretty easy because they do it themselves.
Okay, so Jean, you've been delightful. I need you to know you're my new hero. And it's been really fun learning about what you're doing.
I have to tell you about the teddy. We've got a teddy. Johnny sits next to me. Can you wave? He has to wave because it's his teddy. And we have whereismyteddy.com. So I want you to all rush off, look on the web, look at whereismyteddy.com and see where we've been over the last few months with this teddy bear, including the States.
Well, you're wonderful, Jean. 98% success rate is amazing.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming in and being part of this virtual field trip.
Bro, cheers. Bye.
Have a great day. Okay, so I'm going to give 6 additional ideas that I think, in addition to the 4 themes, could make a difference for using Web 2.0 to reach out. The first is virtual campus and admission tours. The technology that we're using right now could be used to gather kids who couldn't afford to travel to a school to visit with an admissions officer and ask questions and find out about the school. Idea number 2, parent-teacher conferences that take into account working parents, by using this technology to actually set up times for the teachers and the parents to talk where the parent doesn't have to leave the work environment in order to have that conference. Number 3, using wikis and forming a collaboration around this interest of reaching out. So I've started a wiki called outreach20.com. I'll post this session, the PowerPoint slides, contact information for everybody, and we'll encourage you who are interested to come to the wiki and help us build a set of resources around this topic. Social networking. Jean talked about social networking. There's a reason that social networking is so popular. And if we can look at social networking as a technology and not as MySpace or Facebook, but as a way of communicating that's very compelling, I think we're going to find that there are great opportunities for using social networking to bring students in where you're accomplishing something of an academic purpose and to help keep them involved and engaged. Next, personal profiles. You can go to a site like Weebly.com and you can help a student actually start to build a portfolio of their work, videos, photos, and the like, for free. If we don't help students become engaged in actually showcasing their talents, we're missing a huge opportunity. This is my daughter's website. She's a junior at BYU in Utah, and she's in theater education, and she's recording all of her work and acting experiences on her own website. I think this has tremendous power. And finally, we might consider engaging college students in the building of secondary school curriculum. This is a program in Paraná, Brazil, where the university students actually create the curriculum for the lower grades, and then they share all of that material for free through this website. So I think, in sum, there's huge potential for Web 2.0 to make a difference in this area. I'm hoping that today we've been able to showcase a little bit of what that potential is and give you an idea of how you can actually implement uses of Web 2.0 that would make a difference and how others have started to do that. So thanks to Elluminate for providing this service and platform and for my time, and I'm hoping you'll have a great day. And if you can still hear me, we'd love to be able to hear the follow-up.